Greetings, this is Lord Virtuous, and I'd like to, welcome you back to another random, ranting, rambling thingy. More of a podcast. Nevertheless, I've already tried this already, but I kind of did make good points, so I'm going to actually go more to what I actually want to talk about. Yesterday, I saw this thing, I was checking my Facebook out, and I was like, oh, what is this? I checked it on. We have I guess it's authentic basically, on eBay. An authentic cartridge that had a rip label of the Nintendo World Championship. And the highest bid, and I caught this at like the last 8 minutes. And I'm really glad I did that because I really wanted to talk about this particular thing. It's mainly about collecting and mainly about video game collecting too, because I wanted to actually talk my views on video game collecting, my past views and my current views right now. So that basically triggered me to do this right now. So I looked at that, and the top bid was very, very close to $100,000 for one used game cartridge, and I just have to say that just kind of blew my mind. Basically, I can see some people that are collectors or treasure hunters, and they want those rare treasures. And I can see that, because I used to think like that. I wanted to actually get those rare treasures just to hang on to it. But I kind of really looked upon myself, and I said, what the hell would I do with those eventually? For like a long term. Short term, it's like, oh, I got a freaking thing that you basically, I don't know what, I think 15 were made or 10 were made in the entire world, and well, I finally got one. It's like, yeah. And it's like, okay, well, I can sell it for a thing, or I can pretty much hang on to it and then maybe sell it for more money. But the thing is, you never know. That's the thing. It's like the stock market. It goes up and down. That's the thing. 1 minute it could be 100,000, and maybe a week later it could be only 5,000. So maybe people don't want it anymore. And that's the thing. Like I said, I used to think like that, like I have to get things sealed, factory sealed, and like I was a big PlayStation 2 collector of games, so I'm like, okay, then I gotta get games that are sealed, and you can't touch them for like ever until they go up in some sort of price, and I'm like, okay, that's one way. And then I kind of thought, because I have a few of them, and I'm like, okay, I could play them, but obviously it'll go down in value. But the thing is, I looked at what I was collecting, and it's not like an art piece where you pretty much just look at it. It's like a dust collector, basically, on your wall, basically. And it's like, it's a game, and what are games meant to do? That's basically kind of like a mind blown type of thing. It's like, what is it? Okay, well, games are meant to be played, and if I'm not playing them, then okay, then why am I collecting them? Like, I could just go through and pretty much neglect everything that I pretty much see that as used. It's like, that's just garbage. No. And that's the thing, is that I've never actually thought about that. The thing is, used games are great. I've always bought used over new a good, I don't know, I like to say 9 out of 10 times I get used games over new games if they are both on the shelf, basically. Like, because obviously they're cheaper, and sometimes, yeah, they are slightly used. I'm only talking about like disc-based space games. That's like, PlayStation to play PS2 and Xbox and Xbox 360. Those times where discs got scratched and you pretty much just look at the disc. Basically, you take a new, obviously it's going to be new, it's going to be mint, moo. If it doesn't, then you return it and you say, what the hell, basically. Used, I've always asked to see the disc before I bought it. If it's good, fantastic. Why would I buy a new one? That's what it comes down to it. If like a game was like, I don't know, like $50 like $49.99, $50 new, and the same one used was, I don't know, like $10 to $15 cheaper. I would look for the new used game. I would say, can I see that disc? Boom. This is like disc base. Check that disc, and if it's freaking clean, you get the used one. Because the thing is, if I'm buying that game, I'm buying it to play it. That's the thing. So that's kind of how I actually kind of looked upon my thing. Because I got a few games, and I actually remember talking to a friend of mine and saying, I have a game. It's a limited edition, and I'm not really going to open it. I might just get the other one, and I'm like, he didn't really see the sense in that. It's like, would it actually go up in price? And the thing is, that's the thing. Will it go up in price? The thing is, I really kind of do want to play it. That's the thing. I really kind of do want to play it. And I'm like, I might as well, because I don't know if that's actually going to go up in value. Like, there's certain things that I know up in value, and I always kind of check the value of the games that I have. But I always check the used prices. And that's the thing. I was like, okay, let's see. Like, I have my limited edition little station that I have where it has like all the limited editions. Most of them are open. I have to say most of them are open. Because the thing is, that's the game version of the game that I played. So I'm like, if it's like anything Nintendo or like cartridge based, I'm like, basically, I look for cracks on the actual cartridge, and if it's like absolutely nothing, boom, it's done. It's good. If it doesn't play, I return it and say this doesn't play. They pop it in, won't play. There you go. Simple. And the thing is also, I get games that I play too. I don't get games that I don't play. Like, I could actually have a good collection of Nintendo games, pick them up for like $1 or $2 each, with games that I probably won't play. It's just I collect them for the sake of collecting. Why not? No. I play games that I collect games I play. If I don't, like, I have a few, like, that's why I said I'm guilty of collecting sealed games, because I got the Xenosaga trilogy, factory sealed, non-greatest hits, and I got a sealed copy and I got a playable copy. That's also kind of like, okay, well, what am I going to do with it? Basically. And the thing is, I don't really know what I'm going to do with them. I kind of checked them. They're like, it's a pretty, like, it's not an old game, but it's a couple of years, and it probably, if it did go up, it's not exactly the greatest series, so that's probably why. But nevertheless, it's like, what am I going to do with those? I'm probably going to sell them eventually, so that's a thing. And I have I have new games, because back when I had some actual spending cash, I went a little crazy on PS2 games. I bought like one every week, or sometimes two every week. And I have like games that are not even open that I do want to play, but I just left them in the package because, hell, why not? So if I don't play them, don't open them. Why not? I'll get them to eventually. And it just makes me wonder, it's like, well, I don't really need to buy games anymore if I think like that, because I can just get them and online emulate them. Well, yeah, that's true, because I want to preserve the games that I have, so I might as well not play them, wear them down even more. I can emulate them and actually play them pretty much a good portion of time, basically. And but still, the thing is, I can play games, and I have access to actually playing the game. This is also about, this also gets involved in the piracy, and is emulation good? I have to say, emulation, used right, it's good. It's a good marketing tool. Hell, if I look at a game, I play a game, there's a few games that I actually played on emulator, and I'm like, I gotta get that. Hell, man, I gotta get that. And one of them is actually being Zelda 2 Famicom Disc. There's probably no way I could have access to a Famicom Disc system for less than probably $200 to $300. I don't have the money right now. Thing is, the game I will get. The actual be able to play that game is probably going to be a little difficult. But the thing is, I do want to get the game. That's the thing. And if I didn't actually play it on emulator, I wouldn't even consider actually even playing even some of those imported Japanese games. Like, holy cow, some of them are like insanely good, and some of them are not. But the thing is, I wouldn't have access to actually playing them if I didn't have emulator. And the thing is, some of them actually I do want to get, and I'll actually consider getting them if I see them for the right price. I'm like, okay, cool, let's go with that. So it is a good thing to actually see about emulator. Emulating is good, and the thing is, well, it definitely helps me, because I always prefer emulator over capturing with my old my old systems on my capture card, which I can, but still, the quality, I like quality, and if I'm going for authentic, then I'll do that. Of course, I can always put a filter on like the emulator to make it look like I'm playing it, but still, nevertheless, if I'm playing authentically, and I've tested it, and I've actually posted a video that actually has the footage of thing, but it's basically my thing when my capture card messed up a little bit. But the option is there. If I want to make it look authentic, then I'll use my capture card. But if not, I'm going for quality, and quality is always better in the emulator, which I've always considered, and I always want to make it look good and make it sound good, which took me a hell of a long time to do, but I actually eventually did make it sound good for the commentary and also going on there, because I can't really have too much music because of copyright freaking issues, but still, nevertheless, if there wasn't like this whole big copyright thing on YouTube, the music would be good too. That's the thing. So that's basically what I would say, is that I look for quality stuff. If I want to go for authentic, yes, I'll go for the real stuff. And the thing is, I always like to bust out my regular Nintendo and just go from there. But that's going past my point, is with the collecting. Basically, I really looked at why I'm collecting, and the thing is, I'm collecting to play them. So basically, I'm not going to be getting anything to basically just sit around. Like, yeah, they're going to sit around because I can't play everything at once, but it's basically that I'm going to be playing it at some point in time, and then possibly go back to it and play it at some point in time also. And that's pretty much why I do that. I don't get games just because I get games. Well, I do sometimes. I wouldn't even consider getting Modern Warfare if there's so much hype about it. I was like, but it was like, like less than $10, and I'm like, used, and again, used. I'm like, why not check it out? Why not? And again, I still have also Fear to go through. I saw it for like again, less than $10. And also, I also like to put it out is that, now where I am, I don't know if this is everywhere, but where I am is that you got local stores, and you got your major chains, which like EB and GameStop, mainly, because everything else is kind of like gone. Like the competitors are just kind of like gone. Like there used to be so many like kind of mainstream, like, you got the video stores, Blockbuster and so forth, competing, kind of like showing up EB to bring down the prices a little bit. But fortunately, EB and GameStop are kind of up there. Now, me going back to the thing where it's like in between the used and new copies, well, literally I'm going to call it EB because there's a lot of EBs around where I am, is that the price between new and used, is like, what, like $5? And I have to say that is kind of ridiculous. Now, if I go to a local store, which I actually have a local store, and I have a few actually local stores that I go to, the in-between thing between a new game and a used game is anywhere from like literally $5, like EB, but to like $20 to $25 off like the new price. That's the thing. And that's the thing. I personally like to go locally because, yes, they don't have the selection always that, the big chains do, but they have a wide range of multi-format things. Like, they don't stop at like the new systems. Like EB doesn't sell PS2 games anymore, or anything below, basically. They don't sell Xbox, just regular Xbox Ones, or not ones, but Xbox, the first one, which is really hard to say because you don't really know which one to actually mention. You really should change the name on that one. But anything older, they don't have, so I gotta go to local stores or shop online or so forth like that. And the thing is, I always like to physically see my games before I get them, especially used. I'm always picky about that, so I'm very wary about shopping online for used games, especially disc-based, and checking. It's like, there's like, I wouldn't have actually got this if I knew it like this. But it looks like I might have to go like that to actually get some games because, I keep on going there. It took me forever, and I say forever, to find a Mega Man X8 for PS2. Oh my god, it took me forever to find. And it's one of those ones that slipped through my fingers, and became incredibly obscure shortly after its release. and couldn't find it anywhere. It took me like years to find it. I eventually did. And I found one, of course, without the manual, but anyway, I have the game. That's what counts. And that's the thing. I like to go to local stores to check out the variety and also pick up very obscure stuff also sometimes, and to go with those, fewer years old games and pick them up for pretty much dirt cheap that you'll probably find for at least $20 at eBay or like more. And you can find them at these local stores for like $5, basically. And that's what I basically do. So I'm promoting definitely local. Check your local freaking area for video game stores, because one, if they play their cards right, they'll have lower prices and you'll keep on going back there. And that's the thing. Some people will shaft you, and yes, that's the thing. I've been to people that have been shafted. They like jump their prices up there because it's a rare thing. And that's the thing. You got to be reasonable about your prices. And I don't know. That gets into marketing, and I don't really want to get into marketing right now. But nevertheless, I mainly want to say my past views and my current views on basic game collecting. And, well, I guess thank you for listening to my random rambles. And it's a podcast, so I'm going to say. That's what I guess I'm going to call it, the Random Ramble podcast, basically. Why not? So other than that, check out my videos. Let's playing that thing, first-person shooter adventure, Metroid Prime. Yes, it's still there. Did an update video on it, so do check out the update video on here. I don't know if it's going to be released after or before this, but if it is, check it out, because it has some info on pretty much what I'm doing currently right now. And other than that, thank you for listening to my rambles. If you want to hear more, definitely like. It will definitely show that you will definitely like my rambles, and I will keep on doing more. And even if I don't, I'm still going to do it because I like to actually do it. And other than that, let's hope that that guy who bought that Nintendo World Champions cartridge for about $100,000, let's just hopefully the cartridge is real, or there's going to be some interesting things to pretty much see. So until then, this is Lord Virgilus saying farewell and good night.